This one is in lovely Barnesville, Georgia. Barnesville just sits an hour away from both Columbus and Atlanta, so it's very nicely located. As you can see, this property is 421s. So 421s, this is the subject property, and we'll get a little bit deeper into it on the next slide. As you can see, the asking price is going for 270. That puts us at about 67 and change per door. Everything we've seen comp wise, and we'll go into the comps, but it's showing closer to 87 or 86. So we think this is a no-brainer. Currently, it is fully occupied. You have your detailed rent and your current rent. So you have that, and then also you have a few other property details here. Where at this point, feel free to pause. A couple of things I will highlight is that the roof is about 30 years old. It's in good shape, but it is an older roof that it will need to be replaced eventually. And then we're looking at some light cosmetic updates on the inside. However, it's not in a flood zone. It's separately metered, so tenants take care of utilities. There's wash and dry hookups in the units. And then you have 2 tenants that are month to month, and then 2 that are on a yearly lease. So that gives you an overview of it. Now, here is our actual. So here is the subject property. This is what it looks like. As you can tell, it is a nice, very nice building, well kept. It was just freshly painted recently, and the windows are newer as well. So a couple big expenses that, again, you do not have to worry about. And another thing that we like is that there is individual parking for the tenants. As you can see, this is what it looks like. Now, another thing, like I mentioned, so we saw 2 ones in the area going for about 80 and change, 85 change per door. Like I remind you, ours is closer to like 65. And this again has freshly painted. Now, what I like about these 2 ones is that most 2 ones that we saw going for that 80 range were like about 700 to 800 square feet. Ours is about 980 square foot per unit. So they are big size 2 ones. I'll give you a view of the back side of the property, what it looks like. So it doesn't have a big easement line for a backyard. You do have this side area here. So again, this is what the subject property looks like. Property is in really good condition from the outside, as we can see. It is obviously, like most other properties in the area, wood frame. So that, again, gives you a good idea of the subject property. Now, another thing that we like I mentioned, it's an hour away from both Atlanta and Columbus. However, in this area, you do have the middle school for Barnesville, which is right in this vicinity, and then you also have the Gordon College, which is all within driving distance, 5 to 10 minutes. And then, of course, as you can see just through the area, you have your typical shops, restaurants, bars, different things to do in the area. You have a nearby hospital. So we really like the location. It's very quaint, but you still have a lot of things to do in the area. Okay, so now let's get into some of the numbers, guys. So here's one comp we have. This is just a 4.4, so just half the size. Ours is an 8.4. And as you can see, this one, well, you can't see, but we looked up on PropStream. This one sold for $160,000, just half the size of ours. Again, 160. This one sold for. So we think that's a no-brainer comp. Again, showing that these 2 ones are selling at a higher rate. And a higher price. Now, this one, you have 405 and 407, as you see here. These are properties that are right next to each other, but these are very small 2 ones as well. And as you can see, these are 2 ones, just a duplex. It sold for $175,000. Again, you can see these 2 ones are going in that 80 range. And I remind you, ours are in the 60 range. So here's the other one, the one right next to it. As you can see, they look similar. The person didn't do crazy renovations on it, just painted the outside similar to ours. And this one sold for, again, it just sold in August for the similar price of that 175 range. And then lastly, we have a 7-unit. This one actually shows 3.2, but when we did a deep dive through PropStream, we see that they're actually 2s. And with that, these 2 bedrooms sold. This 7-unit 2-bedroom sold for almost $600,000. So again, showing that these 2 ones are at selling at a high rate. But they're going within that 80 range. We're giving it to you for in that 60 range. Again, we think it's a no-brainer. Hopefully you guys see the value like we do. I do appreciate your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.